Yo.
This be by Ejaye.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Sweet and sour sauce is in the building. Yes. Yes. Yo, what up, Papa Nig? What up, Tommy? All right. What up, Zoe? Alright. Got about 10 minutes before the POE2 stream starts, so let's get into this verse of the day. So, today's verse is in 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 8. And it says, above all, keep loving one another earnestly, since love covers a multitude of sins. So, above all, meaning it should be one of our priorities, one of our top priorities, to love one another earnestly, meaning truly, deeply, authentically. And it says that this love can cover a multitude of sins, not saying that we just turn a blind eye or look past sin or wrongdoing and like kind of ignore it, but more of choosing to lovingly forgive and to have mercy for others, and instead of being bitter or have strife. So it's a choice. It's an active choice to love one another and to be loving, forgiving, merciful to others. And we're able to show this love because Jesus showed it to us first. This is how he loved us, by showing mercy to us and by forgiving us. And so in turn, we show that same love to others. And by loving others in this way, we're motivated to see the best in other people, looking past their mistakes or their shortcomings, and focusing on loving as authentically, as deeply as we can. So yeah. Yo, what up, Icy? I feel off today.
This be by Ejaye.
I wasn't showing mercy the other day on Assassin's Creed. Do as I say, not as I do, Tommy. Oh boy. So we got 8 minutes. I'm gonna switch now to the other screen. What up, Tommy? I mean, I looked at Tommy, but I meant to say Sandor. What up, Sandor? Is there any book of that you talk in every stream? I don't understand. Oh, the verses? Oh, yeah. That's the Bible. That's where I read from. Straight from the Bible.
This be by Ejaye.
You got your wisdom tooth out? No pus? Ew. Well, that's good. Are you in pain still? No pain? Really? Wow. That's good. There are many versions. Any specific version? I'd say the ESV isn't a bad version. English Standard Version. Also, I have my personal Bible is CSB, which is Christian Standard Bible version. And then I know that Enzo's Bible is in the New King James version. But I say ESV isn't a bad Bible version to start to use. You hate the dentist? Your whole top row is veneers? Really? Very uncomfortable process to do in a day after getting 2 wisdom teeth removed? Oh my goodness. So what exactly are veneers? Like, they're fake, right? Like fake teeth?
Beat that thing up, Ejaye.
Also, side note, if you're interested in some rewards, in-game rewards for PoE 2, you can watch the stream on Twitch, and there are Twitch drops that you can get for watching 2 hours.
Beat that thing up, Ejaye.
I don't know if this reveal is going to be 2 hours, but if it is, then perfect. But if not, then you can just continue watching anybody in the PoE 2 category to get the Twitch drops. Veneers are big white doors people put in their mouth. Am I gonna try the Huntress? Yes. Is that even a question thing? That was all I been wanting to play ever since I could remember. just had to test my memory. Sword reveal. Sword, spear. I don't know. I haven't really been like keeping up with things, like watching videos and stuff. I just knew about the live stream. I knew I had to see it. That's all I needed to know. What up, Makanya? Novocaine wore off after about an hour 30. You feel everything. Oh my goodness. No, thank you. You got your bingo card ready while you driving. Oh my goodness. Please be careful, Rosette.
This be by E.
30 seconds. Okay. It is time.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers, Game Director on Path of Exile 2.
Big Johnny.
Welcome to GGG Live. Well, it's been a little over 3 months since we launched Early Access, so it's about time for our first major content update.
Hey, that's my
Today,
joint.
we're going to show you an exclusive reveal of Path of Exile 2, Dawn of the Hunt, which launches on April 4th. Twitch drops are enabled on today's live stream, so make sure you follow the instructions below in order to claim your Executioner's Guillotine finisher effect. Now in today's stream, we're going to take you on a deep dive into the new
Why
Dawn
they
of the
showing
Hunt
me
update. We'll cover a
these
new
alerts?
class, 5 new Ascendancy classes, and huge expansions on character systems like unique items and support gems.
I don't want to see them.
After that, it's on to the in-game improvements, including changes to systems, a bunch of new encounters, and lots of other content. We're going to finish up today with a live Q&A session where Ziggy D will ask Path of Exile 2's game directors, myself and Mark, your questions from
So
Twitch.
you gotta get your sauce together. You gotta, you know, like you gotta get your sauce together, man. Like you gotta. If you ain't got no sauce, like hey, you ain't got no sauce no more. Like so, you gotta get your sauce together. You gotta.
Yo, Papa Ding, appreciate that sub. Thank you very much.
But for me, one day, all that were changed. The spirit, it showed me something. Something forbidden.
And she got dreads like me. It was meant to be, y'all. It was meant to be.
And to defend all I loved, I used it. I lost everything that day. But fate weren't finished with me yet. I'll right the wrongs I've done. I'll do what I must. No matter the cost. I
Lacking.
will hear the spirit once more.
Lacking. Yo, it was meant to be, bro. Oh, yeah. 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 Oh, what? She get to ride on the thing? I thought that was just for the ranger. That's dope. Huntress gonna be my main.
Don't make me kill you. I shall bathe in your blood.
She got bleed too. Yeah, whatever, Linux. Looks good. April 4th. That's...
Now, as you can see, in Dawn of the Hunt, we're introducing the first new class since early access to PoE 2, the Huntress. The Huntress is a spear-wielding Asmeri warrior. Born into a society with strict traditions, she was exiled from her homeland after using the power of a skill gem to defend her village. As a dexterous spear user, she specializes in both melee and ranged combat, dashing into and out of battle. Spears have extended range and a short dash, but
that
unlike
look
other
cool.
melee weapons, you can also throw them. In order to make a hybrid ranged and
Can I
melee
put
character
this-
work, we had to do a lot of thinking about ways to make it fun to both enter, and all you will get as a Huntress is Whirling Slash. As well as striking in a circle around you, this skill creates a whirlwind that blinds your enemies. Leaving the whirlwind will make it explode. The more Whirling Slash is used, the bigger the whirlwind, and the bigger the explosion. Once you're out of there, you'll want to follow up with something ranged. Whip your spear around to shoot twisters towards your foes.
Tornadoes.
These twisters bounce off walls and can hit enemies multiple times. You can also throw twisters inside a whirlwind to shoot out extra tornadoes that do way more damage. In her offhand, the Huntress will usually want to hold a buckler, which allows you to do a new skill, parry. While holding
What?
down parry, your character will counterattack any incoming attack from monsters near you, stunning them. In addition, the monsters will take extra attack damage from your follow-up strike. Some specific skills are designed to be used after a parry and have extra effects. Disengage is a skill that does a quick jump back, damaging enemies in front of you, and it can be used to interrupt other actions, like dodge roll. If you use it against a parried enemy though, it causes an explosion and gives you a frenzy charge. Just be careful. If you parry too much, you're going to get stunned and possibly killed. You can combine this combo with Whirling Slash. Slash, parry, disengage, and you'll get an explosion from the disengage and the Whirling Slash. The Huntress also has a variety of elemental spear throw attacks.
Yeah.
You could use Lightning Spear to bounce lightning between your foes. Or you could throw explosive spears into the ground. These spears take a while to detonate, but when they do, they'll incinerate anyone caught in the blast. All spear throws on the Huntress can also be empowered by frenzy charges. For example, explosive spears will do an even larger explosion and leave fire on the ground. And these empowered versions can activate even more combos. Using Whirling Slash over ground fire will suck it into the whirlwind, adding fire to the explosion. Using
Wow.
twisters inside a fire whirlwind will shoot out fire tornadoes as well.
Wow.
And you can do similar combos with ice.
That's
lightning
so
too.
sick.
Now,
Wow.
a key aspect of hunting is exhausting your foes by causing blood loss. This skill is Rake, which dashes towards your target and unleashes a deadly slash, opening up wounds on your enemies. Follow up with Disengage and watch them bleed out as they run towards you.
Wow.
On the health bar of monsters, you can see how much blood loss the enemy has experienced, and the Huntress has skills to take advantage of this.
Ooh. They
For example, using Blood Hunt will thrust forward and
Look
cause
at
a
the health
bloody
bar.
explosion. The more blood loss, the bigger the explosion. If you want to cause bigger bleeds, try out Rapid Assault. The final hit of this multi-hit combo will stick a spear into your enemy for a big bleed. Now, Explosive Spear and Rapid Assault both result in leaving spears behind, either in the ground or in enemies. But there are other skills that leave spears around too, like Storm Lance, that leaves an electrical spear that arcs towards enemies. But what can you do with all these spears? Detonate them, of course. Thunderous Leap
Did
will
she
allow you to
just
jump onto
warrior-
and explode any spears, either in the ground or in your enemies.
Wow.
Now, as well as hunting animals, the Huntress also has the ability to work with them. While fighting any beast, you have the ability to tame it and use it as a companion.
What?
You can only have one companion at a time, but it will keep the mods that were on it. Try to find a rare beast with good mods to take full advantage of your ability to tame them.
What?
Now this is just the beginning of the Huntress. We've really tried to make the hybrid ranged and melee gameplay work for this class by having a huge amount of synergy between ranged and melee options. There are 22 new skills available for the Huntress. By
Oh my
endgame, you'll be
gosh.
slinging hundreds of insanely powerful
Yeah,
spears,
she's like a
sending
monk,
forth spirit animals and summoning the
ranger,
might of Solaris from the sky.
Necro.
But we still haven't
Barbarian.
talked about ascendancy classes yet.
Oh boy.
What can the Huntress ascend into?
Yo, what up, Mo?
Well, the first ascension class you could choose is the Ritualist. The Ritualist has embraced the darker side of his merry traditions by harnessing the power of animal sacrifice and
Oh,
plague.
look at that attack speed.
The Corrupted Life Force skill causes all enemies around you to grow volatile blood boils on their skin.
Oh.
When those enemies are slain, the boils will burst, spreading corrupted blood to all enemies around them. The Ritualist also excels in taking advantage of magical trinkets. The Unfurled Finger skill allows you to equip an additional ring on a finger around your neck. Taking Mystic Attunement increases the bonuses of all the rings and amulets you have equipped. Now this is one of my favorites. As the Whispers Ask grants you a new skill, Ritual Sacrifice. Use the skill on the corpses of slain rare monsters to absorb the power in their blood to give you one of their modifiers for a short time. Specialize further into Ritualistic Sacrifice with As the Whispers Demand, which allows you to perform that skill on yourself instead of a corpse. Cut your own hand, sacrificing some of your own blood to empower yourself. The Amazon Ascension is for those looking to hunt more than just beasts.
Yeah.
Trained as an elite guard to the most important Asmeri elders, the Amazon will use more traditional fighting techniques mastered to perfection. The Predatory Instinct skill will cause you to reveal weaknesses in the defenses of rare and unique enemies, causing you to deal more damage. You can see those weak spots represented on their life bars. While using Elemental Infusion, any charges you consume will infuse your weapon with elemental power, causing any projectile attacks to explode on impact. The Critical Strike skill is as simple as it sounds. It takes your excess accuracy and gives it to you as critical strike chance. Additionally, you have skills like Mystic Harvest, which allows your elemental damage to leech life, and Asmeri Brew to be able to use either flask to restore both life and mana. So those are the two new ascendancies for the Huntress, but those are not the only ascendancies in Dawn of the Hunt. We've added a new ascension class for 3 of the other existing classes too.
Okay.
First up, for our warriors out there, we have the Smith of Kitava. The warrior is a blacksmith in origin, taught by his father Renly. With this ascension, you can take your smithing skills to new heights by embracing power from the insatiable one himself, Kitava. Smiths of Kitava are master blacksmiths and have the ability to forge their weapon, quite literally.
Wow.
Using the Against the Anvil notable skill, you can enhance your weapon with fiery destruction before any battle. After doing so, your attacks will release explosions on hit for maximum devastation. You can also use the power of Kitava to summon an animated copy of your weapon to fight alongside you. A great blacksmith can do more than just forging their weapon though. Their armor can be enhanced too. Now you might think this ascendancy class tree looks a little abnormal.
Different,
and you're
yeah.
right. There's a lot of notable skills all disconnected at the bottom there. By taking this point here, which is free to assign, your character is unable to equip body armors with mods of any kind. So your body armor must be normal. Sounds like a downside, right?
What?
Except now in true blacksmith fashion, you get to craft your own body armor by taking those disconnected notables with your points. If you want your
Wow.
body armor to grant life, take this notable. If you want resistances, take this one. There's so many choices. Think of it like you're crafting your own body armor, just in a more literal sense. Now, let's move on to those who prefer the reassuring feel of a crossbow in their hands, the Mercenary. Alongside the existing Ascension classes, the Gemling Legionnaire and the Witch Hunter, you can now play as the Tactician. The Tactician is a former Blackguard elite. Free from the duties of a Blackguard, he is able to use his training to decimate the monsters of Rayclast and earn a healthy income doing so. This training comes in the form of various skills like Suppressing Fire, which causes all projectiles to pin enemies. When combined with the Right Where We Want Them notable, your pin not only stops your enemies from moving, but stops them from performing actions too, similar to Freeze. With a soldier's training, the Tactician also works well cooperatively. Using the Whoever Pays Best notable, you can place multiple banners at once. The Watch How We Do It skill gives a portion of your weapon's damage to your allies as well. But if that isn't enough, you can also command your army of off-screen archers to unleash hell and carpet an entire area with arrows. Finally, Witch players will be able to join their legions by becoming undead themselves. In Dawn of the Hunt, we're introducing the Lich Ascension class. The Lich is a master of chaos and curses and could sacrifice her life to enhance her energy shield. The Crystalline Phylactery skill allows you to nominate a jewel in which to contain part of your soul, massively increasing its power. There's just one downside to splitting your soul this way though. If you have no energy shield, your mana costs will shoot up. The Necromantic Conduit skill causes you and allies in your presence to have unholy might, granting extra damage as chaos damage. Rupture the Soul makes enemies you curse explode with chaos damage when slain.
Wow, chaos. I could have used this ascendancy like 6 months
Dominion
ago.
over Flesh allows you to apply an additional curse. It's safe to say you'll be the true master of the occult by choosing the Lich class.
Wow.
So Dawn of the Hunt has the Huntress and 5 new Ascension classes, but it doesn't end there. Let's take a look at some of the new skills we've added. Now you may remember we've previously talked about the Raised Spectre skill. It's finally complete, and it will be made available in the upcoming expansion. It can be found in the occult skills on the skill gem crafting panel. Raised Spectre is a skill that allows you to trap the soul of almost any monster in the game,
Yeah, that's what
which you can
I
then
was
summon in
wondering.
the skill panel.
I was wondering about this because they showed
Spectres
this
cost
before
spirit
PoE
and will
came
revive
out.
automatically if they die.
So
But
I
the
guess they
spirit cost
finally
varies
added
based
it.
on the power of the monster. You could summon an army of weaker monsters, or a few of the more powerful monsters.
Oh my
Combine
goodness.
them with your existing skeleton minions, or summon exclusively specters. It's all up to you and how you want to customize your army
Oh
of the
my
undead.
goodness. I'm finna be a witch
Given
huntress,
that there are
man.
hundreds upon hundreds of monster variants in Path of Exile 2, it's safe to say you'll be experimenting with this one for a while. We look forward to seeing which monsters serve you
Oh
best.
my goodness.
Now let's move on to our next skill. Since we've been talking about summoning undead so much, let's have a
Yeah.
change of pace and summon something a little more alive. In Dawn of the Hunt, we're adding the Summon Rower skill.
Yeah, I was wondering about that too.
Summon your friendly
Let's
rower
go.
to aid you in combat as a minion. You can also mount your rower in combat at any time, allowing you to move at full speed even while shooting arrows or throwing spears. Be wary though, if you take too much damage while riding your mount, you can be knocked off and get overwhelmed. It's worth keeping an eye on your stagger bar, as falling off the mount can mean almost certain death. On the topic of new ways to enhance your character, let's talk about support gems. Support gems are used to modify your skill gems in meaningful and interesting ways. Currently, we feel that a lot of builds have insufficient options here. To alleviate this, we're adding over 100 new support gems. Hema crystals will enable a new kind of bleed build, turning the damage over time you would have done into explosive Vile crystals. Alignment is a support gem for bow attacks, which can reward skilled players with good positional skills. Caltrops will allow you to litter the battlefield with hazards, slowing your foes as you fling spears through their ranks.
Wow.
But there's plenty more
caltrops.
for every playstyle, such
Oh my
as
goodness.
enormity,
Minions have increased
Unsteady
size, more
tempo.
damage. I can't even read that fast.
profanity,
Supported skills consume a corpse within 5 meters. Chaos damage. Oh,
retaliate,
goodness. 40% more attack damage, scaling up as your stun bar increases.
syzygy. Yep, that's a real word.
Syzygy.
And many more. Now we've talked about a new
Wow.
class, new ascendancy classes, new skills, and new support gems. But let's not forget about the core of a true action RPG, the items. To start with, let's talk about uniques. We're adding over 100 new unique items. This time, we've made sure to add uniques with a focus on mid and end-game tiers to make sure there are more exciting items to find for higher level characters. Let's look at some examples. Embrace your inner devil with Chernobog's Pillar. It grants you a large amount of fire damage based on your block chance. The Coming Calamity allows you to become a true master of the elements, granting you all 3 Elemental Herald skills without costing any spirit. At the same time, it penalizes enemy resistances. Wastegate is a belt useful for builds using a single resource like Blood Magic or Archmage builds. With this belt, you can use 2 life flasks or 2 mana flasks. It's up to you. Now, we could go through these all day, but we'll leave most of them for you to discover. Suffice to say, though, We want there to be way more cool things to find. Over time, our goal is to add a unique to every single base item type at a minimum, so that you can chance any base in the game. Now, given that we have the Huntress, we have a set of unique spears from early game all the way through the end game as well.
Ooh.
One example is Scyther's Spear, which combines bleed and fire in a powerful way. It allows your ignites to be aggravated, dealing substantially more damage. We're also introducing a suite of unique bucklers with some interesting parry mechanics. Calgyra's Arc, for example, allows you to parry projectiles from any distance.
Wow.
And we're also adding our first unique charms. Bayra's Ambush will not only protect you from Ignite, but will also emit a devastating Fire Nova whenever you do get ignited. In sum, there's just a ton of new uniques to find. We can't wait to see the weird and broken builds that come out of it. Now, we also want to talk about crafting options. In each major update during early access, we'll be continuing to add and improve the options here. We have various new crafting tools that have been added as rewards to many of the different types of new content that we're adding. But for now, I just want to mention the changes to runes. Runes add commonly available mods, but since they only have one tier, flat damage mods tend to get outclassed by in-game. So we've changed runes to have multiple tiers, allowing you to get higher tier mods than before. Our plan is to significantly expand the number of more specialized mods for crafting using socketables as we add new content over time. And the first new set of those comes from what we're talking about next. In Dawn of the Hunt, we're adding Asmarian Wisps, which can be found throughout both the campaign and the endgame. The Asmari spirit has made itself present in Rayclast, and it appears to be trying to warn, or maybe prepare us for the coming darkness. You will first encounter a manifestation of it in the Grellwood in Act 1, where you'll meet Delwyn, an Asmari hunter who is trying to find out what exactly is causing the spirit to behave this way. As you approach the wisp, it will flee, leading you past monsters. Any monsters it comes into contact with are infused by it, making them more powerful.
Wow.
Each spirit is associated with a specific revered animal within Asmari culture. This one is a wisp of the Great Bear, and grants enemies extra life and stun. The wisp moves faster the closer you are, and as you move away, they slow down to wait for you. But if you get too far away for too long, they'll dissipate and return to the woods.
Wow.
As you continue to chase the wisp, it will find and possess a rare or unique monster, granting it a new powerful ability. Because this was a wisp of the Great Bear, this monster now also has increased life and stun. But on top of that, it will periodically summon a large spectral bear that slams with wild fury.
Of course.
If you're able to defeat this foe, you will be rewarded. For each monster that was infused and killed along the way, the rewards will be increased.
Ooh.
Each wisp has its own mechanics. The Wisp of the Winter Owl is a primal wisp that causes enemies to deal extra cold damage, gain energy shield, and release wind vortices on death. When infusing a monster, they will call down large tornadoes to protect their host. The Wisp of the Wild Cat is a vivid wisp that causes affected monsters to deal more critical strikes and become more evasive. When it infuses a monster, it will summon a barrage of feline spirits that will attempt to tear you limb from limb. If you're lucky, you may even find sacred wisps that can do some pretty crazy things to the monsters they influence. Like the Wisp of the Cunning Fox, which turns normal monsters into magics, magic monsters into rares, and rare monsters into actual bosses.
Wow. Wow.
Asmarian Wisps can drop a new set of socketable items that allow you to craft a wide range of interesting new mods onto your items. Each one may only be used on a specific item slot. As mentioned, the Asmarian Wisps can be encountered throughout the game, but there's also a new endgame map called the Asmari Ranges, a mountain village where the Asmari once lived, now overrun with corrupt monsters. This map always has multiple Asmarian Wisps in it, and familiar, yet not quite the same boss fight. Asmarian Wisps can also be further modified by the endgame Atlas tree as well, and by tablets.
Wow.
But I'm not going to be the one talking about those things. In order to cover all the new content in in-game, I'm going to hand things over to Mark.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts,
Endgame.
Game Director on Path of Exile 2. There's a ton to talk about with the endgame today, so let's dig right in.
I
Path
don't
of
know
Exile
nothing
2's
about
early
this.
access began with a brand new endgame, and it was clear that it needed a lot of work. After absorbing your feedback, we're ready to make some epic changes. The first thing is, we just need a lot more content. In Dawn of the Hunt, we have made sure to focus on increasing the sheer number of interesting and different encounters you will randomly stumble into as you explore the endgame. And the second goal is to smoothen the progression through maps and reduce the amount of annoying busy work. To start with, let's talk about the new interesting stuff to find. Well, the most obvious thing to add are new maps. As well as the Azmeri ranges that Jonathan mentioned earlier, Dawn of the Hunt.
Oh! Wouldn't be a PoE stream without a crash.
Aral Megalith's map starts off in the wild Ezomite forests. As you progress through the forest, you will find mysterious rune-carved stones that, when touched, surge with energy. After activating all the stones, you can find a grand henge, where all the energy is coalescing. You can then start an encounter. The area darkens, a storm moves in, and a concentration of energy summons a dangerous boss. You must fight and defeat the boss to get its rewards. Once you have defeated it, summon another. And another. And another. You have 10 total waves of boss fights which get incrementally more difficult.
Oh, 10 waves?
If you manage to defeat them, you get full boss rewards, but also opportunities to get new runes. These can only be obtained from this map. The Fractured Lake contains a surreal waterscape with fractured mirror-like objects. As you move around the map, the terrain itself elevates from below, creating the ground you walk on. In this unique map, all the rare monsters are mirrored, so you're always fighting two of the same rare at the same time, which can prove quite difficult. If you manage to overcome that challenge and make it to the end of the map, you'll be presented with a broken mirror, a powerful altar-like object that contains an item within it. The item contained within is a new base type, either an amulet or a ring, that can be crafted to have additional prefixes or suffixes at the cost of the other. The last unique map we'll show today is one based around the essence mechanic. You enter a crystalline cavern, and you will find a powerful map boss imprisoned in the center.
These maps look good.
It is surrounded by many rare monsters,
the design
also
of them.
imprisoned in essences. By freeing and defeating the rare monsters, the essence they held will be upgraded to a greater essence, and be added to the imprisoned map boss. How brave are you? How many essences will you add to the boss? Overdo it, and you might lose everything. Underdo it, and you might regret it. It's your choice. Speaking of essences, alongside visual improvements, you're now able to apply Vaal Orbs to corrupt the essences, with a range of unpredictable outcomes. It could increase the number of essences, re-roll all the essences to the same type, or even upgrade the essences to greater essences. What if they're already greater essences? Well, it can upgrade those too. We have 4 new corrupted essences. Essence of Hysteria, Delirium, Horror, and Insanity.
Each corrupted essence has its own interesting combat mechanics. For example, the essence of Insanity causes you to question even your own mind, as monsters split into shadowy clones, and you must locate the real one before a devastating icy explosion freezes everything around it.
Oh.
Each of these has their own crafting outcomes. The essence of Insanity can be applied to a belt. It adds a mod that will ensure the next Vaal Orb used on the belt will guarantee adding 2 enchantments.
Wow.
It's worth noting all the essences in the unique map can also be corrupted too, if you're willing to risk it. It's worth noting we have also added 10 extra Atlas passive points you can earn by completing 5 different unique maps.
It is a lot of content. Like, they've been
Now,
working, boy.
New maps are just the beginning. We had a goal where we wanted to make sure you were constantly finding exciting new content.
They've been
and that it could be
working.
lurking around any corner. So, we have added a bunch of new things that you could stumble into in any map you run.
On your travels, you will sometimes encounter rogue exiles. Others
Wow.
like you who have been exiled and are openly hostile.
Rogue agents,
Some
bro.
are malicious, some are mad, while others are simply fiends for loot. They will challenge you, a fight to the death. They use the same skills available to players, and even the same items.
Wow.
They aren't just dressed up in those items, they're actually using them. It's going to feel like a true player versus player situation.
Wow.
Of course, if you are able to slay these exiles, those items will all drop on the ground.
Ooh.
So if you encounter an exile using a powerful or valuable unique item, which you can see displayed under their life bar, you want to be damn sure you kill them. Because if they kill you and your party, they'll portal out taking their items with them. Every fight will feel completely different depending on the items they come equipped with.
That's
These
cool,
exiles
actually.
are much smarter than your regular monster. They have capabilities to dodge roll, Avoid your abilities with smart pathfinding, smart targeting, and much more action-packed gameplay. Fortunately, they're like you and they're not super durable. Unless, of course, they're wearing uniques like Helm's Heart, in which case, expect a longer battle. There are 12 different rogue exiles you can find, each with their own skills and personalities. Some may insult you, while others may admire your honor in combat.
Wow.
Another encounter you might
That's
stumble
dope.
onto in Dawn of the Hunt are one of 4 new unique strongboxes.
They should take your items if
Strongboxes
they kill
are
you.
chests with modifiers.
No.
When you try to open them, they activate traps and spawn
No
waves of
shot.
monsters that you must defeat to access the loot. Let's take a look at 2 of the new unique boxes that are harder to find.
I'm gonna refresh.
and
It's
behave
like
just
skipping.
a little bit differently. The Ogham's Legacy Strongbox has a corpse splayed out in front of the rune-carved stone. Upon
See if that just helps
Might
it.
magic, which revives the monster as a powerful rare. The Strongbox comes with a modifier which determines how many times it will revive that rare. Each time you defeat the monstrosity, the Strongbox revives it again, adding an extra modifier to the monster. With each resurrection, it becomes more difficult, but also more rewarding. This Strongbox is infused with thaumaturgy from ancient Vaal technology. Eshell's Torment has a powerful artifact inside, and is guarded by chaos itself. Defeating the monsters will grant you a unique item, with a specific corrupted outcome. You'll have to find the other 2 for yourself to see what they do.
Now, let's talk about the introduction to the endgame. Upon starting the endgame, Doriani tasks you with cleansing corruption to help restore the land. However, in practice, the quest objective just sent you on a grind to clear 15 maps.
Yep.
We wanted to make the quest to unlock your Atlas passives much more interesting.
Now, Doriani is tasking you with a more specific objective. On the Atlas, you will find areas of corruption caused by the beast. In the center of each one, you will find a corrupted nexus, the source of the affliction. In the areas leading up to the nexus, you will notice that corruption spills out from slain enemies and amalgamates into powerful monsters. Corrupted maps existed on the Atlas before, but we've done significant work on improving these monsters. We've also done a full pass on the modifiers on these maps to make them more interesting and more rewarding. Once you reach the nexus, you will have a new task: cleanse the source of corruption. When you defeat the last rare in those maps, they will spawn one of 3 terrifying bosses, amalgamations of corruption itself. After defeating that boss, Doriani will come and cleanse the corruption for good. As the remains of the boss are purged of corruption, it coalesces into raw crystallized power, which you can use to gain points for your Atlas passive skill tree, the upgrade system that allows you to add and enhance content in your maps. We didn't stop there though. When you complete a corrupted nexus, all of the remaining surrounding corrupted maps will become cleansed maps. Cleansed maps also have new monsters, a new boss, and their own set of modifiers and rewards, including finding fracturing orbs by slaying cleansed enemies. These orbs can be used in crafting on a rare item to cause one of its modifiers to become fractured. A fractured modifier is one that cannot be modified by any means. You are able to freely modify the item, ensuring the fractured modifier will never change.
I see.
If you get the right item with the right mod, it can prove to be a very powerful crafting base indeed.
Yeah.
You must now choose. Do you complete all the corrupted maps and then the Nexus? Or maybe you beeline to the Nexus, complete it, and do all the remaining maps cleansed.
Who's gonna remember all of this?
Both have rewards to entice you and challenges to assess.
It's okay. This is gonna be a video after,
Now,
so.
let's have a talk about towers.
And I'm gonna go back and
One
look
thing
at
we've
this
had
stuff
a lot
too.
of feedback on is the busy work around running towers and managing your tablets. The first change we've made here is that we have reduced the number of towers drastically, so there are now 1/3 as many as before, but we've made them much more powerful. To start with, tablets now inherently add twice as many mechanics. But that's not all. Running higher tier maps and towers now increases the number of mechanics applied by tablets. By tier 15, the bonus is double, allowing a single tablet to now add 4 times as many mechanics as before. So, we're running far fewer towers, dealing with fewer tablets, and affecting even more maps than before. But because there were fewer towers overlapping with each other, you won't get as many opportunities to stack different tablets. In order to solve this, we've made it so that each tower can consume up to 3 tablets at once. You always get 1 slot on completing the tower, but if you can complete a tower with more mods on the waystone, you can unlock a 2nd or 3rd slot. Overall, this allows for even more juicing from towers, while drastically reducing the amount of busy work you have to do. On top of that, towers are much more interesting maps because they can now spawn with all mechanics, including bosses. Each tower map has a new boss. Let's take a look at a couple here. The boss fight of the Alpine Ridge map has 2 powerful witches contesting for territory.
Wow.
One witch has an affinity for ice, the other fire. Who will win? Hopefully neither. The boss of the Sinking Spire map is a remnant of the Val that has been charged with lightning.
They bringing back
It uses
the
a full
other,
suite of lightning abilities.
the
But be
campaign
careful.
bosses.
If any of them hit the surrounding constructs, they will power up.
Another thing that we've seen a lot of feedback about is sustaining waystones. As we looked into it, we realized that the people who couldn't sustain waystones were dying a lot. A lot more than we had expected. And that made us realize something. During the campaign, the expectation is that you can die multiple times in order to learn how to overcome challenges. You are able to learn how the monsters behave, adapt to their skills, and eventually overcome them. But as soon as you get to the endgame, you are effectively no longer allowed to die if you want to sustain waystones. By the time you are getting towards the end of endgame, we want you to have to be careful not to die. But it certainly shouldn't be that we have such a sudden shift as you run your first maps.
The first change we're making is you can now respawn and return to a map if you die. Continuing from where you left off. When you start the endgame, you get up to 6 total attempts per map. As you add more modifiers to a waystone, the number of respawns goes down. This means that as you get to the point that you're running every waystone as a rare, you will have to be more careful. In parties, everyone gets to respawn that number of times.
Okay. Oh, okay.
But we
So
still
it
think it's
shows in
important
the-
that you can kill a boss in one go.
On the left.
In order to allow that to happen, we've made a change so that once you start the boss fight, it changes over to the same respawning system we use for pinnacle bosses. This means that the map owner can choose to respawn everyone at the same time. Another complaint we've seen a lot of is players not wanting to do the pinnacle content because of the experience penalty from dying. A change we've made here is that all pinnacle content now no longer grants experience, but also no longer removes experience on death either.
Oof.
Dawn of the Hunt also brings the first batch of Twilight Order reliquary keys from the early access supporter packs. These keys contain items selected by our supporters.
Right.
They can contain any unique item found in Path of Exile 2. If the selected item is a pinnacle boss drop, then only special keys dropped by this content will be able to provide these items. For example, Hand of Wisdom in action can only come from a key dropped by Zesht. We're also making a change that allows pinnacle boss uniques to drop at any difficulty. Rarer uniques will be rarer at lower difficulties, but still possible to find. This applies to the drop chances for the reliquary keys from this content as well. We spoke about towers and tablets earlier, but we have also added a suite of unique tablets. Each of these adds crazy interactions to the maps influenced by it. For example, this unique tablet allows you to run any map in a tower's radius without requiring connections, which can be quite useful for jumping gaps and traveling around your atlas. And this tablet causes all runic monsters spawned during expedition encounters to be duplicated, and weakens all expedition monsters that emerge from the ground. The Atlas tree has also been expanded, and you can find many of the new mechanics there, and improvements to existing ones too.
All this info just for me to wing it.
Now, through this live stream, we have mentioned quite a few new crafting options that we've added. New runes, corrupted essences, fractured mods, and jewelry crafting bases. But we did have just one more crafting system to talk about: recombination.
Expedition was the only in-game mechanic that was lacking a crafting system, so that needed to change. Recombination is a mechanic that might be familiar to some players. It allows you to merge two items together, hoping to get the best elements of each on a single new item. This new crafting bench will be unlocked as you complete your first expedition, and requires artifacts found during expeditions to fuel it. The rarer the mods on the item you are combining, the more expensive the cost.
This game deep,
That
bro.
wraps up all the major in-game changes we're talking about today. With all the system changes and new content, we can't wait to get in there, start blasting maps, and obliterating monsters. There is one more thing we wanted to clarify before we move on, which is that all the content we've talked about today will be made available in the existing early access leagues, so you can play your existing characters. However, there will be new leagues made for those who wish to start in a fresh economy. It is recommended to start over and get the full new experience in the Dawn of the Hunt leagues.
For all our existing
Okay.
early access players, we're really looking forward to joining you playing in this new update. For those who don't already have access and are interested in playing Path of Exile 2, Dawn of the Hunt, you are able to at any time purchase an early access supporter pack at www.pathofexile2.com.
Yeah, what up,
Additionally,
Herman?
the Paladin and Penance supporter packs are now available to purchase in Path of Exile 2
Ooh.
and contain 6 microtransactions each and the full pack's face value in points. All the microtransactions contained within these packs are purely cosmetic and do not affect your character's power or progression in any way. Thank you so much for your ongoing support.
As it should be.
We're just about to start the Q&A with Ziggy D. With release at the end of next week, our community team will be posting crucial information you'll need for the release. Keep an eye on the news. On release weekend, we expect to launch the new mystery box and many new microtransactions, including Path of Exile 2's first alternate skill effects. Thanks for joining us today and checking out our latest developments. We're looking forward to playing the Huntress, trying new builds, and
Yes.
exploring the new endgame next week. We'll begin the Q&A shortly, so please get your questions ready.
How hard is it to add swords? Oof. Oof. That was a lot. This game is deep, bro. I don't think I have the capacity to really play PoE till its full potential. Like, even the end game alone was like daunting because I ain't even touch it really. Now I'm trying to see how can I go back. Last time they had one of these streams, somebody sent me like a link to go watch the VODs. By the way, what up, Magic? For some reason, my Twitch messages wasn't showing, so I missed them in the beginning. Salami Tommy. Karma Cap. It's on YouTube already? Ah. No, it's not on there yet. Oh, wait. Is this it? Content reveal?
Hi, I'm
Yeah. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Yeah. Turn it down a little bit.
Jonathan Rogers, Game Director on Path of Exile 2. Welcome to GGG Live. Well, it's been a little over 3 months since we launched Early Access, so it's about time for our first major content update. Today, we're going to show you an exclusive reveal of Path of Exile 2, Dawn.
Okay, so I want to look at... What do I want to look at? I want to look at Huntress again. Because she was so sick, bro. Like, her ascendancies was kind of like... It wasn't nothing that immediately stood out to me, but her base character... Clean. But she the only new character they bring in, right? Just Huntress and then Ascendancies?
As you can see, in Dawn of the Hunt, we're introducing the first new class since early access to PoE 2, the Huntress. The Huntress is a spear-wielding Asmeri warrior, Born into a society with strict traditions, she was exiled from her homeland after using the power of a skill gem to defend her village. As a dexterous spear user, she specializes in both melee and ranged combat, dashing into and out of battle. Spears have extended range and a short dash, but unlike other melee weapons, you can also throw them. In order to make a hybrid ranged and melee character work, we had to do a lot of thinking about ways to make it fun to both enter and exit melee range. The first skill you will get as a huntress is Whirling Slash, as well as striking in a...
Now, this Whirling Slash seemed really cool, but like, I feel like from what I've seen of other people's builds and how they play in-game, I feel like I have to have a super kind of simple build that don't require a lot of setup, because that's what I did with my witch. She had like a lot of setup and I got obliterated when I got to like in-game. It was not fun. So it's kind of like I gotta pick like one or two main abilities to kind of like spam. And this Whirling Slash, where you gotta like hit it 3 times to get it bigger and bigger, seemed like too much setup. But some of the stuff he mentions seemed really cool, like the stuff that worked together with the Whirling Slash, whatever. What up, Orel? So I don't know, bro. I don't know. And that new Witch Ascendancy looks spicy. That's exactly what I was trying to do with my witch, Chaos Witch, and they added Ascendancy for it.
Circle around you, this skill creates a whirlwind that blinds your enemies. Leaving the whirlwind will make it explode. The more Whirling Slashes used,
so they come in and they're blinded.
And the bigger the explosion. Once you're out of there, you'll want to follow up with something ranged. Whip your spear around to shoot twisters towards your foes. These twisters bounce off walls and can hit enemies multiple times. You can also throw twisters inside a whirlwind to shoot out extra tornadoes that do way more damage. In her offhand, the Huntress will usually want to hold a buckler, which allows you to do a new skill.
Parrying is wild.
While holding down parry, your character will counterattack any incoming
Parrying
attack
is
from
wild,
monsters,
actually.
stunning them. In addition, the monsters will take extra attack damage from your follow-up strike. Some specific skills are designed to be used after a parry and have extra effects. Disengage is a skill that does a quick jump back, damaging enemies in front of you, and it can be used to interrupt other actions, like dodge roll.
I don't think I'm gonna be parrying, y'all. I don't think I'm gonna be parrying. Because, I did not mean to do that.
Will usually want down.
Cause I'm gonna be dying if I'm trying to parry. I'm gonna be dying if I try to parry, bro. Warrior was doing that last season. Really? You mean like them perfectly timed abilities, like with the Ranger Snipe? Cause that timing in this game, trying to focus on timing things when you getting swarmed, is like a brain fart. Parrying gonna be hard to pull off while being ambushed. That's what I'm saying. Like, who got time to be trying to, okay, I gotta get a parry off and then I gotta do this and that. Cause I don't know, bro. It's Elden Ring now. Perfect block on shields. Oh, perfect block. Rip. So the warrior is already familiar with that type of stuff. Yeah, whatever build I go with on my Huntress, my first build, I'm not gonna be parrying, bro. I'm just not.
Enemies in front of you, and it can be used to interrupt other actions, like dodge roll. If you use it against a parried enemy though, it causes an explosion and gives you a frenzy charge.
I like that it gives you a frenzy charge though.
If you parry too much,
when
you're gonna get stunned and possibly killed.
Parry and then dodge back.
You can combine this combo with Whirling Slash. Slash, parry, disengage, and you'll get an explosion from the disengage and the Whirling Slash.
See, that's too much setup right there. Build up the Whirling Storm, then get a parry off, then back up, and then do 2 explosions. Like, nah, I need, soon as enemies come on the screen, blop, blop, blop. Spamming abilities. Insta damage. That's what I need.
The Huntress also has a variety of elemental spear throw attacks. You could use Lightning Spear to bounce lightning between your foes. Or you could throw explosive spears into the ground. These spears take a while to detonate, but when they do, they'll incinerate anyone caught in the blast. All spear throws on the Huntress can also be empowered by frenzy charges. For example, explosive spears will do an even larger explosion.
That was
and
clean.
leave fire on the ground.
That was clean. He was waiting on the attack. Got the
Example,
parry off.
Explosive
Bop,
spears
bink.
will do an even larger explosion.
Jump
and
back.
leave fire on the
That's the only reason to use the parry is to get your frenzies, bro. That's a good way to get frenzy
example,
charges.
Explosive spears will do an even larger explosion.
It
and
might
leave
not
fire on
be
the ground.
as bad as I'm thinking.
And these empowered versions can activate even more combos. Using whirling slash over ground fire will
See
suck
that whirling slash where you combine it with the element stuff? Oh my goodness. That's when you're getting into some stuff. It looks so good when you whirling slash over different elements. Oh no.
it into the whirlwind, adding fire to the explosion. Using twisters inside a fire whirlwind will shoot out fire tornadoes as well. And you can do similar combos with ice and lightning too. Now, a key aspect of hunting is exhausting your foes by causing blood loss. This skill is Rake, which dashes towards your target and unleashes a deadly slash, opening up.
It's easy because of the amount of enemies. Wasn't as hard as Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too now, is that it seemed really stressful because of how many enemies it is, but it also makes it easier to hit off a parry because so many enemies hitting you. You bound to parry one of them, and you only need one. And then you put on support gems that give you an extra frenzy charge, have a chance to give you an extra frenzy charge when you get one. Maybe I will be parrying. I don't know. Because typically the stuff that Jonathan showcases in these videos don't be like the quote unquote meta or the right way to build that character. Because like, I think his ideas in the videos are just meant to give you like inspiration. I don't think this combination he's showing is going to be like the greatest in-game strat either. I don't know. Parry and get buried. Wow. Wow.
Wounds on your enemies. Follow up with disengage and watch them bleed out as they run
I've
towards
always wanted to bleed though. I swear, I
you.
don't
On
know.
the health bar of monsters, you can see how much blood loss the enemy has experienced, and the Huntress has skills to take advantage of this. For example, using Blood Hunt will thrust forward and cause a bloody explosion. The more blood loss, the bigger the explosion. If you want to cause bigger bleeds, try out Rapid Assault. The final hit of this multi-hit combo will stick a spear into your enemy for a big bleed. Now, Explosive Spear and Rapid Assault both result in leaving spears behind, either in the ground or in enemies. But there are other skills that leave spears around too, like Storm Lance, that leaves an electrical spear that arcs towards enemies. But what can you do with all these spears? Detonate them, of course. Thunderous Leap will allow you to jump onto and explode any spears, either in the ground or in your enemies.
Any spear. So the fire one, the lightning one, the bleed one, that's any spear you can leap on and detonate them all. You going ranger or witch? Really? I'm surprised you would go back to your ranger. Now the real question is, you starting over or you just gonna stay in the same league? Because I think I'm gonna start fresh. I think I'm gonna start freshy. Especially since I haven't been playing lately at all. So, and I think I'm gonna make me a witch too. Chaos witch with the new ascendancy. Kind of rethink my build, maybe. Yeah, that's what I might do. I might do Huntress and Witch, but I'm gonna obviously do Huntress first. Gotta touch her, man.
Now, as well as hunting animals, the Huntress also has the ability to work with them.
This
While
was
fighting any beast, you have the ability to tame it and use it as a companion. You can only have one companion at a time, but it will keep the mods that were on it. Try to find a rare beast with good mods to take full advantage of your ability to tame them.
Monk for life.
Now, this is just the beginning of the Huntress. We've really tried to make the hybrid ranged and melee gameplay work for this class.
That lightning and fire together?
Between ranged and melee options. There are 22 new skills available for the Huntress. By endgame, you'll be slinging hundreds of insanely powerful spears, sending forth spirit.
I think that was another mistake of mine, is that I like I get so consumed with this idea of choosing one element and making my whole build around this one element, and I think boxing myself in like that can be detrimental, especially when I don't really know, when I'm not really that good at like build crafting and knowing the game and stuff. I feel like, at least for me, I don't know, I feel like having multiple elements is better, I think. And what up, Somar? I appreciate it. Thank you. Definitely starting fresh. It just makes sense. Plus, we will be able to play together. Right. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I was expecting 2 new characters. I was, actually. Especially because it was called Dawn of the Hunt. I feel like Druid would have been a perfect addition to this. But guess not. You wanted that new warrior but no swords, so I don't know. Yeah, I feel you on that, but swords don't fit with Dawn of the Hunt. That's the only thing. Like when you think hunting, you think bow and arrows, spears, at least like older type of hunting, because there ain't no guns in the game, no snipers, stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know.
Animals and summoning the might of Solaris from the sky.
Whoa, what is
But we
that?
still haven't
What
of
is
insanely powerful spears.
summon the might of
Both spirit
Solaris?
animals and summoning the might of Solaris from the sky.
He added that in slick at the end.
But we still haven't talked about ascendancy classes yet. What can the Huntress ascend into?
Yeah, these
Well,
was
the first ascension class you could choose is the Ritualist.
okay. It was too
Ritualist
fast.
has embraced the darker side of his merry traditions by harnessing the power of animal sacrifice and plague.
It's a lot of bleed, and swords are perfect for that. But I feel you. Yeah, I mean, but it's mainly bleed for the Huntress though, and the Huntress don't fit with swords. Like I could see if they added the Templar or something like that, then yeah, definitely add a sword. But it wouldn't make sense for them to add a new weapon that don't go with a new character, I guess.
The Corrupted Life Force skill causes all enemies around you to grow volatile
This is
blood
cool.
boils on their skin.
This is cool.
When those enemies are slain, the boils will burst, spreading corrupted blood to all enemies around them. The Ritualist also excels in taking advantage of magical trinkets. The Unfurled Finger skill allows you to equip an additional ring on a finger around your neck. Taking Mystic Attunement increases the bonuses of all the rings and amulets you have equipped. Now this is one of my favorites. As the Whispers Ask grants you a new skill, Ritual Sacrifice. Use the skill on the corpses of slain rare monsters to absorb the power in their blood to give you one of their modifiers
cool.
for a short time. Specialize further into Ritualistic Sacrifice.
It's like with that. Don't y'all know? I think it's Diablo, where you would be like clearing the area, and then it'll be like a random totem on the map, and you go near that totem, and it just give you like a random free like boon or something like that. It's kind of like that, except you gotta work for it. You gotta kill a rare monster and then use the skill on their corpse to take their modifier, which I think is, what do I think? I do think it's pretty cool. Reaching down, stabbing the corpse, stealing a buff.
The Whisper's Demand, which allows you to perform that skill on yourself instead of a corpse. Cut your own hand, sacrificing some of your own blood to empower yourself.
Ritual Sacrifice can be used on yourself to remove 20% of maximum life to grant a random monster modifier. Maximum of 1 modifier can be granted this way.
The Amazon Ascension is for those looking to hunt more than just beasts. Trained as an elite guard to the most important Asmeri elders, the Amazon will use more.
So if you like bleed, you definitely go to other ascendancy for sure. With them blood boils, 100%.
Traditional fighting techniques mastered to perfection. The Predatory Instinct skill will
Reveal weaknesses against rare and unique enemies. This one is really good too. 50% more damage against enemies with an open weakness. Like, this is actually really good, I feel like. 50% more damage, and they're already weak to it, so that's probably like insane. So which one is the weakness then? Is this the weakness, the blood? I think, or is the lightning the weakness? Cause that's them like some feet. I don't know what that means.
Will cause you to reveal weaknesses in the defenses of rare and unique enemies, causing you to deal more damage. You can see those weak spots represented on their life bars. While using elemental infusion,
When you consume a power charge, trigger infused weapon to gain 2 cold infusion. Neither? Neither. What you mean? He said it shows up on the health bar, but I don't know which one it was. So you can consume a charge to infuse your weapon with a certain element. But from what I've seen, she can only get frenzy charges, at least like with just her own stuff, without any other character's abilities.
any charges you consume will infuse your weapon with elemental power, causing any projectile attacks to explode on impact.
But that's cool though.
The critical strike skill is as simple as it sounds. It takes your excess accuracy and gives it to you as critical strike chance.
Wait. 25% of excess chance to hit with attacks? Because he said excess accuracy, but this says 25% of excess chance to hit. 25% of excess chance to hit with attacks is converted to additional crit chance. I don't know. Skills and passive tree can get you others too. Yeah. I just meant like with her base kit.
It takes your excess accuracy and gives it to you as critical strike chance. Additionally, you have skills like Mystic Harvest.
Life Leech recovers based on your elemental damage as well as physical damage. Life Leech. So I wonder, do you have to already have some sort of Life Leech to use this?
Which allows your elemental damage to leech life, and as Mary Brew to be able to use either flask.
So you can use any flask you want. Life gives you life and mana gives you mana and life. So you basically got double the amount of flasks. It look cool down there too. It's like blue mixed with red. Sick. Does that mean you have to overcap accuracy? I don't know. I mean, she does have a spear, so accuracy is gonna help her because of that range. Throwing spears, you don't want to be missing. I think you're gonna have some accuracy. As far as purposefully building into it, I don't know.
To restore both life and mana. So those are the two new ascendancies for the Huntress, but those are not the only ascendancies in Dawn of the Hunt.
Yeah.
We've added a new ascension class for 3 of the other existing classes too. First up for our warriors.
I mean, you're right though, Zerk. I mean, this art does have a sword in it. He is blacksmithing with a sword, so y'all still might get a sword. Possibly. So, I don't know.
Out there, we have the Smith of Kitava. The warrior is a blacksmith in origin, taught by his father Renly. With this ascension, you can take your smithing skills to new heights by embracing power from the insatiable one himself, Kitava. Smiths of Kitava are master blacksmiths and have the ability to forge their weapon, quite literally. Using the Against the Anvil notable skill, you can enhance your weapon with fiery destruction before any battle. After doing so, your attacks will release explosions on hit for maximum devastation.
Nah, the sword is just for the drip at this
point. You can also use the power of Kitava to summon an animated copy of your weapon to fight alongside you.
An animated copy of your weapon.
Can do more than just forging their weapon, though. Weapon to fight alongside. You can also use the power of Kitava to summon an animated copy of your weapon to fight alongside you. A great blacksmith can do more than just forging their weapon though. Their armor can be enhanced too. Now you might think this Ascendancy class tree looks a little abnormal, and you're right. There's a lot of notable skills all disconnected at the bottom there. By taking this point here, which is free to assign, your character is unable to equip body armors with mods of any kind. So your body armor must be normal. Sounds like a downside, right?
Yes. This is insane right here. I feel like you do this, you gotta really know what you're doing. I don't know. Like, I would never, dude. Only can wear normal. Like, you really gotta, I don't know, that's just me. I feel like you really gotta know what you're doing if you go in these bottom ones. Cause yeah.
Except now in true blacksmith fashion, you get to craft your own body armor by taking those disconnected notables with your points. If you want your body armor to grant life, take this notable. If you want resistances, take this one. There's so many choices. Think of it like you're crafting your own body armor, just in a more literal sense.
Cause I feel like
now,
rocking that, them nodes, you can easily brick your build. I don't know. I'm not a warrior player. It's not my style.
Let's move on to those who prefer the reassuring feel of a crossbow in their hands, the mercenary. Alongside the existing Ascension classes, the Gemling Legionnaire and the Witch Hunter, you can now play as the Tactician. The Tactician is a former Blackguard elite. Free from the duties of a Blackguard, he is able to use his training to decimate the monsters of Rayclast and earn a healthy income doing so. This training comes in the form of various skills like suppressing fire, which causes all projectiles to pin enemies. When combined with the right where we
all
want them
projectiles pin enemies. Pin is really good. Pin is really good. That's cool, actually. All projectiles can pin. And with a crossbow, all you shooting is big projectiles. A lot of CC.
which causes all projectiles to pin enemies. When combined with the right where we want them notable, your pin not only stops your enemies from moving, but stops
pinned enemies cannot perform actions. But why would that matter? Because if they're pinned, they can't move anyway. So it's not like they can, like, jump out of it, right? I guess, like, if you pin an enemy that's real close to you, they can still, like, smack you or something. So if you get this, you pin them and they just stunned, kind of. They can't do nothing.
Stops them from performing actions too, similar to freeze. With a soldier's training, the tactician also works well cooperatively. Using
Can place
whoever
multiple
pays first notable,
banners.
you can place multiple banners at once. The Watch How We Do It skill gives a portion of your weapon's damage to your allies as well. But if that isn't enough, you can also command your army of off-screen archers to unleash hell and carpet an entire area with arrows.
That's like the rain and arrows from the ranger. Anytime you can't be damaged is better. Yeah, that makes sense for sure. Enemies that have ranged attacks. True. Interesting. I don't know what a banner is. That's like a warrior thing, isn't it? Don't warriors put down banners or something? I don't know. But now mercenaries can put down multiple banners, so it's kind of like a little bit of support up in there. At least in the new Ascendancy. But didn't they? I seen a video where somebody was talking about they think that the new mercenary Ascendancy was gonna allow you to have a like another mercenary alongside you, like a minion or whatever. But he ain't say nothing about that, so maybe they was just guessing. Theory crafting. That witch though? Yeah, I know, right, bro? I know.
Finally, witch players will be able to join their legions by becoming undead themselves. In Dawn of the Hunt, we're introducing the Lich Ascension class. The Lich is a master of chaos and curses and could sacrifice her life to enhance her energy shield. The crystalline phylactery skill allows you to
sacrifice life to enhance energy shield. Interesting.
Sacrifice her life to enhance her energy shield. The crystalline phylactery skill allows you to nominate a jewel in which to contain part of your soul, massively increasing its power. There's just one downside to splitting your soul this way, though.
Wait, how does...
Massively increase
I didn't fully understand this.
And could sacrifice her life to enhance her energy shield.
Can socket one non-unique basic jewel, 100% increased effect of socketed jewels, 50% more mana cost if you have no energy shield. Yeah, so you gotta have an energy shield, like, I guess.
Crystalline phylactery skill allows you to nominate a jewel in which to contain part of your soul, massively increasing its power. There's just one downside to splitting your soul this way, though. If you have no energy shield, your mana costs will shoot up.
50% is crazy.
The necromantic conduit skill causes you and allies in your presence to have unholy might, granting...
Wait, you and allies in your presence have unholy might while you are not on low mana. So while you have a decent amount of mana, lose 5% of mana per second. Huh?
Extra damage as chaos damage.
Wait, unholy might gives you extra damage as chaos damage, he said?
Might, granting extra damage as chaos damage.
You and your allies get extra damage as chaos damage when you not rely on mana, but you lose 5% of mana per second. So you gotta be like big mana regen. So energy shield and mana.
This be by Ejaye.
Rupture the Soul makes enemies you curse explode with chaos damage when slain.
Cursed enemies killed by you or allies in your presence have a 33% chance to explode, dealing a quarter of their max life as chaos damage. Oh man, big chaos ascendancy right here for real.
Dominion over Flesh allows you to apply an additional curse.
You can now apply an additional curse. Your curses can affect hex-proof enemies. Hex-proof.
It's safe to say you'll be the true master of the occult by choosing the Lich class.
For real.
So Dawn of the Hunt has the Huntress and 5 new Ascension classes, but
Big
it doesn't end
chaos.
there. Let's take a look at some of the new skills we've added. Now you may remember we've previously talked about the Raised Spectre skill.
This?
It's finally complete, and it will be made available in the upcoming expansion. It can be found in the occult skills on the skill gem crafting panel.
Wait, what is that? Oh, the when you can capture the
It can
soul
be
of
found in
somebody.
the occult skill
Capture the spirit of a defeated monster.
on the skill gem crafting panel. Raised Spectre is a skill that allows you to trap the soul of almost any
So
monster
you
in
can
the game,
choose. Big spirit. So you gotta have
which you can
spirit
then summon in the skill panel.
like crazy.
Spectres cost spirit and will revive automatically if they die, but the spirit cost varies based on the power of the monster. You could summon an army of weaker monsters, or a few of the more powerful monsters.
Oh my goodness. If I can spawn them dastardly, dusty witches, them water portals, if I could spawn some of them, oh man. Oh man, them, I hated fighting them. They be backlining like crazy. One shot you if you're not paying attention. I don't know what them like little rhinoceros elephant looking things is. They look cool, but man.
You can combine them with your existing skeleton minions.
Nah,
Or
hold
summon
on. If I can, I don't know if you can take bosses too.
You can combine.
But her, the Viper, she go crazy. Imagine having her on your squad. I feel like if you could trap her as one of your minions, they'll make her not be as OP as she actually is in the boss fight or something. Because that boss fight, fighting her is every single time I fought her, Like, there was not one time I fought her where it was like easy, except when I was playing with Enzo and he was on a warrior and he like one-shot her. So it wasn't even because of me. Oh boy.
Bind them with their existing skeleton minions, or summon exclusively specters. It's all up to you and how you want to customize your army of the undead. Given that there are hundreds upon hundreds of monster variants in Path of Exile 2, it's safe to say you'll be experimenting with this one for a while. We look forward to seeing which monsters serve you best. Now let's move on to our next skill.
Yes.
Since we've been talking about summoning undead so much, let's have a change of pace and summon something a little more alive. In Dawn of the Hunt, we're adding the Summon Rower skill. Summon your friendly rower to aid you in combat as a minion. You can also mount your rower in combat at any time, allowing you to move at full speed even while shooting arrows or throwing spears. Be wary though, if you take too much damage while riding your mount, you can be knocked off and get overwhelmed. It's worth keeping an eye on your stagger bar, as falling off the mount can mean almost certain death. On the topic of new ways to enhance your character, let's talk about support gems.
Yeah.
Support gems are used to modify your skill gems in meaningful and interesting
Nah,
ways.
Zoe, you talking about, am I making another support gym video, or you triple lipping? No promises. No shot. They added like 100 new ones. You trying to kill me? You trying to ruin my fun before I even get started, bruh? Heck nah. I knew they was gonna add new ones though. Not in a rush to do that. No shot.
Currently, we feel that a lot of builds have insufficient options here. To alleviate this, we're adding over 100 new support gems. Hema crystals will enable a new kind of bleed build, turning the damage over time you would have done into explosive Vile crystals.
Wait, okay. Supported attacks cannot cause bleeding. Supported skills consume bleeding on enemies they hit, creating 4 hemo crystals, maximum 20 active hemo crystals. And a hemo crystal deals physical area damage based on a percentage of the expected damage of the consumed bleed. It cannot cause bleeding, has a radius of 1 meter. They detonate after 1.5 seconds. They're randomly created within 2.5 meters of the consumed bleed and deal damage equal to 8% of the expected remaining damage of the consumed bleed. Man, it's Ejaye time. It's not out yet, bruh. Chill. Chill. I'm not going all through the end game and stuff though. Even though it has some good stuff, like them rogue exiles. Them rogue exiles. Oh boy, them rogue exiles seem like they gonna pee you off, but gonna be super fun at the same time. Like fighting, like PvP, like kind of like AI, but like PvP. PvP against AI. Bleed on the ranger with this would be sick. Yeah, I mean, bleed, even just the effects that they have for the bleed looks so good. Ain't Ejaye in early access? So a lot of people are able to play it because Ejaye sent them like codes to play it, but it hasn't actually come out yet. It will come out in early access, but it's not like on Steam yet. It's supposed to come out tonight. You've seen people spend 2 whole streams trying to make an Ejaye character. Yeah, so they dropped the creative studio already that anybody can download. I tried to make myself, but it's hard. The bleed potion. Wait, but if you put this on your bleed potion, it says it supported attacks can't cause bleeding. So you would have to put this on a different ability. Use the bleed potion to make them bleed, then use this to consume the bleed on with a different ability.
Alignment is a support gem for bow attacks, which can reward skilled players with good positional skills.
So, hold on, wait.
Is a support gem for bow.
Supported skills indicate one of 4 directions. Indicated direction changes when an attack with supported skill matches indicated direction. Supported skills deal 30% more projectile damage. See, with these new support gems, I'm gonna have to make a new video because what is this even talking about? Supported skills do 30% more projectile damage when attacking in indicated direction. So what? Oh, I see it.
Alignment.
The little arrow, it points in the direction. And so if you shoot in that direction, you deal 30% more projectile damage. And also it switches to a new spot that you gotta shoot.
There's a support gem for bow attacks, which can reward skilled players with good positional skills. Caltrops will allow you to litter the battlefield with hazards.
That one is something right there. Caltrops. Projectiles from supported skills trigger caltrops when they reach the end of their flight. And the caltrops increases and reductions to thorns damage applied to hit damage with the caltrops. They maim on hit. I forgot what maim does, but maim is good, isn't it? I forget what it is, but I feel like it's really good. The caltrop duration is 8 seconds. Creates one caltrop. Deals 60% of your dexterity as physical damage on hit. Big ranger tings, bro. Slows by 25%.
This be by Ejaye.
Slowing your foes as you fling spears through their ranks. But there's plenty more for every playstyle, such as enormity.
Minions from supported skills have 20% increased size, deal 20% more damage, and have 20% more max life. Big beefy minions, boy. It only costs 10 spirit too. Support skills that summon persistent minions. Oh wait.
Unsteady tempo.
First attack in sequence with supported skill inflicts hobble on you equal to 40% of your life. Second attack in sequence with supported skill has 30% more chance to critically hit. The third attack in sequence with supported skill does 20% more damage. I don't know where hobble is, but I don't know. It don't sound good. Oh, that's big monk stuff. Big melee combos.
Profanity.
Supported skills consume a corpse within 5 meters on use. Deal 30% more damage. 30% more chaos damage if consuming a corpse. So if you put this on a skill that consumes a corpse, it'll deal 30% more chaos damage when you consume the corpse. Chaos Witch finna be crazy.
Retaliate.
Supported skills deal up to 40% more attack damage, scaling up as your stun bar increases. As your stun bar, so if you're getting, what does that mean? If you're getting stunned, then you deal more damage? Or Rip Sork? Rip Sork, no love. I mean, they added a bunch of new support gems and stuff, so there could be some ways to like improve upon Sork builds and whatnot. But yeah, I feel like this season or whatever you want to call it, big huntress, big ranger, big warriors, big witch, and maybe mercenary and monk. I just named like every class almost.
Syzygy. Yep, that's a real word.
Syzygy. Hits from supported skills are considered crushing blows against ignited and fully armor broken enemies. So hits against ignited and fully armor broken enemies are considered as crushing blows. Heavily stunning enemies that are ignited and fully armor broken with the supported skill will permanently intimidate them. Permanently intimidate. So they like run from you, or they scared or something? As you get staggered before the stun, you slappy. Wow, so you like teetering. You like playing a balance game with getting staggered and whopping upside the head. 10% more damage. Oh, that's what intimidate mean? Oh. Okay.
And many more.
Big deeps, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Now we've talked about a new class, new ascendancy classes, new skills, and new support gems. But let's not forget about the core of a true action RPG, the items. To start with, let's talk about uniques. We're adding over 100 new unique items. This time, we've made sure to add uniques with a focus on mid and end-game tiers to make sure there are more exciting items to find for higher level characters. Let's look at some examples. Embrace your inner devil with...
So, 126% increased armor, 38% to fire resist, 27% chaos resist, 164 to stun threshold, which is amazing for just that one, what was that, an ability or whatever, where your stun bar, the more your stun bar built up, the more damage you do, whatever. If you do a witch, it's going to be a 1 life build. Of course it is. I mean, of course it is. Of course you would do something like that, because it's your Zoe, like duh. Gain 1% of damage as fire damage per 1% chance to block.
Chernobog's Pillar. It grants you a large amount of fire damage based on your block chance. The Coming Calamity allows you to become a true master of the elements, granting you all 3 elemental herald skills.
Whoa, wait. 74 max life, 30% to all elemental resistances. Enemies in your presence have no elemental resistances. Holy. Oh man, this is sick actually. You get all the elemental skills. Big avatar.
Without costing any spirit. At the same time, it penalizes enemy resistances.
Oh my goodness.
Wastegate is a belt useful for builds using a single resource like blood magic or archmage builds. With this...
Hold up. 23% increased stun threshold, 75 max life, 61 max mana, 26% increased flask life recovery rate, 25% increased flask mana recovery rate. Life and mana flasks can be equipped in either slot. Oh, he got 2 big health flasks at the bottom. Wow. That's actually awesome, but you have to get it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Big training. Big Zalties. Yo, what up, Keisha? I am okay today. How are you?
Belt, you can use 2 life flasks or 2 mana flasks. It's up to you. Now, we could go through these all day, but we'll leave most of them for you to discover. Suffice to say, though, we want there to be way more cool things to find. Over time, our goal is to add a unique to every single base item type at a minimum, so that you can chance any base in the game. Now, given that we have the Huntress, we have a set of unique spares from early game all the way through the end game as well.
Okay, so 22 to 27 physical damage, 27 36 fire damage, 20% chance to cause bleeding on hit. Aggravating any bleeding with this weapon also aggravates all ignites on the target. 10% chance to aggravate bleeding on hit. Cannot use projectile attacks. It looks cool. What does aggravating mean? I feel like that means like they take more damage or something.
One example is Scyther's Spear, which combines bleed and fire in a powerful way. It allows your ignites to be aggravated, dealing substantially more damage. We're also introducing a suite of unique bucklers with some
82% increased evasion rating. It makes the bleed more aggressive. Plus 80 mana, 15 intelligence, infinite projectile parry range, 50% increased parried debuff duration. Wow. So you can parry ranged attacks and be like getting your kid off before they even get close to you.
Interesting parry mechanics. Kalgyra's arc, for example, allows you to parry projectiles from any distance. And we're also adding our first unique charms.
That's clean. Immunity to ignite. Used when you become ignited. 23% chance to gain a charge when you kill an enemy. Ignites enemies in presence as though dealing fire damage equal to 25% of your max life when used. So when you get ignited, you ignite the enemies in your presence and deal fire damage equal to 25% of your max life.
Bayra's Anguish will not only protect you from Ignite, but will also emit a devastating fire nova whenever you do get ignited. In sum, there's just a ton of new uniques to find. We can't wait to see the weird and broken builds that come out of it. Now we also want to talk about crafting options. In each major update during early access, we'll be continuing to add and improve the options here. We have various new crafting
I didn't really
tools
care
that have
about
been
none of
added
this
as
stuff.
rewards to many of the different types of new content that we're adding. But for now, I just want to mention
Because
the
I can't really relate to this
runes
in-game
and
stuff.
available mods. But since they only have one tier,
The Asmerian Wisps was pretty cool. Like chasing them around and then killing the boss at the end. And then however many enemies was affected by the wisp, you get like more rewards. The new maps, I loved their design. Like the maps that they showed looked really nice. The Rogue Exiles, really cool. And then the unique strong boxes. This is what one of the supporter packs. If you bought one of the higher cost supporter packs, you could like create a unique or something to put in the game. We getting y'all to end game this time around. That's not the problem. Getting there is not the problem. It's thriving in end game. It's the problem. But we gonna figure it out. We gonna figure it out. They changed in game up a lot, so maybe this next time around will come and it won't be too bad. So I don't know. Some cool stuff though. I'm really excited to try Huntress. She is really cool. I don't know what ascendancy I'm leaning towards though. Like if I want to even do bleed, because the elements seem really cool too. But bleed I feel like is really good for like single target bosses. I don't know. I really don't know. So many good things that they added. Like Ning said, they've been grinding that grinding gear. At grinding gear games, they be grinding. But yeah, Ranger bleed build. So which one you doing? You doing Ranger or you doing Warrior? I don't think you know. Cause I'm definitely want to do a witch, but I'm gonna wait and do a Huntress first. So yeah, should be fun. Ranger bleed build of swords don't come. Okay. Okie dokie. Well, all of this is coming next week on April 4th, so Should be a good time. Yo, what up, John John? But Enjoy is supposed to drop tonight. Let me check Steam. Three hours. 3 hours from now it's supposed to drop, so hopefully y'all will see me again later tonight with an Enjoy stream. Check that out. See what's popping. And yeah. So I'm gonna catch y'all later, God willing. Y'all take it easy. Appreciate y'all. Much love. Thanks for all the support as always. Make sure you stay saucy, because if you know who else gonna saucinate. Enjoy the rest of your day or night, and make sure you remember you are loved. I'm gonna catch y'all later. I'm out. Peace.
Beat that thing up, Ejaye. Beat that thing up, Ejaye.